Hey everybody, here for Love and Hip Hop New York, season 6, episode 12. This was the season finale, and it was all about Remy's wedding. So, Remy arrives at her wedding venue, and she's kind of on edge because it doesn't look like anything is complete. It doesn't look like anything is in the process of being complete, and she's kind of being a bridezilla to the girl. I forgot her name, but she worked with Yandy. So, Remy is a little bothered because she's not liking the issues that they have. She's not seeing her wedding. She wants the skating rink. She wants, the floors a certain way. She wants the wedding to look like a winter wonderland, and it's not looking like that. So the girl is like, well, I assure you it's going to look like that. It's going to be taken care of. Don't worry. We're still working on it. So Remy went and left it alone. She went to her bridal suite. And who's in her bridal suite? Her sisters, Ramisha and Ray Monique. So Remy is upset with Ray Monique because she feels like Ray Monique blames her for everything and whatnot. And she's like, listen, I was in jail for 6 years, okay? Not only were you guys feeling the pain of me physically not being there, I was too. I didn't intentionally mean to go to jail. Stuff happens. But for you to say I wasn't there for you and I'm the cause, I'm to blame of all your problems, you can't do it. So her sister's like, listen, I just want to let it go. It's your day. I love you and I apologize. They squashed it and that was that. So we get to Papoose and he's with the fellas. He's with Remy's son and they're just having fun doing guy stuff. And the wedding planner or coordinator, whoever she was, the girl that was associated with Yandy, for the life of me I can't remember her name. She brings in a DVD from Remy to Papoose. Papoose puts it on the TV, and you see Remy in her lingerie, same lingerie Yandy had her in the previous episode, and she's dancing around. So Papoose had all the guys escorted out, and he sat and he watched the DVD himself. We didn't get to see the DVD, but I mean, I'm pretty sure from what it was, Papoose was happy to see it because he was like, Remy looks good. So, Remy is nervous because the pastor that they're supposed to have there is not there. But Rob went to go meet up with Pap, and Papoose actually revealed that the pastor that married them the first time over the phone is actually going to be there physically to marry them in person. He just wanted that to be a surprise for Remy. So they start discussing Rod's intentions as Remy's friend, and Rod's like, that's my girl. I would never put her in no harm. The whole Gwen Fest or whatever, that was my doing. Don't blame it on Remy. She had nothing to do with it. I would never put her in harm's way because I know her situation is sensitive. So he's like, I just want to make sure that everyone in her circle has her best interests at heart and knows that she can't be in that type of trouble. So they come to an understanding because remember, Papoose wasn't really feeling Ra like that. They come to an understanding and they move on. So we go to Remy and her son Jace, and they're having a moment where she's, happy that her son is walking her down the aisle, and she's just hoping that her son doesn't feel like she's failed him. And he's like, no, you're my mom. I love you. I understand things happen, but you've always been here for me. So now it's time for me to be here for you. So that moment I thought was really, really beautiful because it's like, Remy feels guilty as a mom that she ended up in that, legal situation. So she feels a little bit of guilt that she wasn't in her son's life for 6 years. But he's like, no, mom, you did the best job that you could. Things happen, but I'm glad you're here now. And I'm glad that I can be here for you since you've been here for me. So I thought that was really, really nice. That was a nice moment. So, what else? We get to the wedding. I'm going in order how I wrote it. Like, I'm writing about the wedding, and I'm writing about... it's like... Because the whole episode was about the wedding. So I'm not going to go through, each scene and what happened. I'm just going through how I wrote it in my phone. So we get to the wedding. Surprisingly, Papoose' daughter, DJ, was a bridesmaid. But surprisingly, I was surprised to see Keisha Cole was a bridesmaid. I'm like, okay. And she looked good. So, Remy comes down. Her dress is beautiful and big and princessy. She looked like a princess. And the pastor, he said some nice things in the, with the vows and everything. And, it, it was the basic, will you take this man? Will you take this woman? I pronounce you, blah, blah, blah. So the wedding was beautiful. She, everything came together. The venue, the ice skating rink, her winter wonderland, everything she wanted came together. So they had their first dance, and after they had their first dance, they were sitting down, and, Papoose was like, well, I do believe that we had a deal. If I gave you your dream wedding, you would give me my babies. So he's like, is that a deal? She's like, listen, you can have your babies. This wedding was everything that I wanted and more. So now let's go make babies. And I'm like, oh, I love Remy and Pep so much. They are so cute together. I love them together. That's relationship goals. People always want to go after these relationships that don't mean nothing. Remy and Papoose is relationship goals, okay? Everything about them, relationship goals. So now we get to Yandy and Mendices, and Mendices took Yandy to the side, and they went off to a corner somewhere, private, and they're having their, I guess, last dance or something like that together because, we all found out, and Mendices found out that he was sentenced to 8 years in prison. So, Yandy and Mendices are dancing and whatnot. Yandy's like, wow, this could be our last dance for a while. And he's like, don't even think about that. Think about living in the moment. Think about right now. Think about, just me and you right now and spending every last minute we have together. And, Yandy is like, you know what? He's right. I'm not going to stress about the other stuff. I'm just going to think about the fact that my husband is here right now and that I love him and, this is us and whatnot. And I'm like, that's right, Yandy. You got to live in the moment sometimes. You got to think about the now. Leave the future. If you worry about the future all the time, you'll drive yourself crazy. And the good thing is, now y'all know how many years he has. He's going to do his time, and he's going to be home before you know it. So, nothing really to worry about. You just do what you got to do. So, at some point during this episode, the shift of attention went to Peter. So, him, Cisco, Mendices, and Rich are all doing a creep squad meeting. So Cardi B come out of nowhere cracking jokes, and she come over them and she like, what y'all over here doing? Y'all over here getting somebody pregnant? I was in tears. I'm like, yo, Cardi B has no chill button. She has no filter. She is just a hot mess. So, they talk to her, and then, after she walks away, he tells the guys about his decision to have a vasectomy. So, Amina arrives. All the guys, they disperse. They go to the wedding, and he tells Amina, hey, his usual, is it too late now to say sorry? That should be Peter Gunn's theme song, because he's always sorry. He's forever sorry. He is the sorriest person alive. So, he basically tells her, hey, I'm sorry, but Tara's baby is gonna be my last baby. Girl, she does not sit still, and I hate this. So, he's basically telling her, yeah, Tara's baby is his last baby and whatnot. That got Amina upset, because she's like, so you mean to tell me that the girl that, had your babies already is not your wife. She's your ex-girlfriend. She's going to have your last baby, not your wife. I want more kids. I want this. And I just sat up here and had an abortion. And I'm like, okay, Amina, but here's the thing. You had your abortion, right? So that means at that time you felt like that baby, you didn't want that baby because you didn't want to bring that baby up in an unhealthy situation. So don't you think that this should be your way out? Get your divorce and move on. Girl, get your divorce and I'm about to pop you. I'm not laughing. You need to stop it. Get your divorce and move on already, because she's like, I put up with a lot with you. I've done things that no other chick would have done, and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, well, then that should tell you, move on. Move on. Move on. Move on. Go find you somebody else and leave it at that. So she's upset, screaming at him, and then she walks away. So basically, we see, what everybody's doing. Of course, BBOD got back together. They managers themselves. You know, Remy and Pap had their wedding. They're happy. Tara, Peter, and the boys, they're having their baby shower. And she's like, I know this is an unlikely situation, but we both love this baby. Amina is like, you know, I'm thinking of me, my baby, and my music. I'm not focusing on Peter anymore. And Peter, I guess he finally went and got his vasectomy. And what else happened? Cardi is basically focusing on her career and whatnot, and her stuff that she's selling. Mariah Lynn's focusing on her career. Bianca's focusing on her career as well, and you know, taking the steps forward to work with Yandy. Yandy is continuing to manage her artists and take her mind off of the situation with Mendici. So that was basically the episode. It was the season finale. So there's no Love and Hip Hop this week, so it'll be on next week. I don't know why they did it like that. Was it because of the BET honors? I don't know, but it was weird. But there was no reunion on this week, so it'll be on next week. But that was basically the episode. It was an okay episode. I just really liked the wedding. I thought the wedding was beautiful. So that was season 6 episode. Was that episode? I said the episode earlier. I can't remember. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. And I see you guys next video. Later.